So here we go. Welcome to another edition of the League One Lowdown. I'm joined by Tash, who we spoke at the end of last season before that game against Charlton at Portman Road. And how was that for you? 4-0 defeat, sorry to say. But how are you?
Hi Ross, yeah, I've just about got over that. Just about wasn't the game that I expected. Thought it was gonna be a dead rubber, but you guys, yeah, just decided to show off on the last day. So thanks for that.
Yeah, Charlton players were on the beach and Town players decided to turn up for the final game of the season, 4-0 win, all that stuff. But yeah, it's been hectic at Charlton in terms of Johnny Jackson leaving, Ben Garner coming in. Let's quickly recap last season as a whole, Tash. 13th in League One. How would you look back at last season?
Yeah, I think the way that I've summed it up to a lot of people is just disappointing. Obviously, I mean, like the season before that, we finished just like I think on goal difference outside the playoffs. So we thought, okay, great, got same manager as last season, Nigel Adkins. We'll just kick on from there, really. But yeah, it didn't go that way. When it had like one of our worst starts ever to a season, and then Adkins was gone by October, and then we had Johnny Jackson, our old captain and assistant manager, come in as caretaker, and then he got appointed as manager. Went on a really good winning run. Played you guys, unfortunately, when we were at our peak at the Valley, and then literally kind of we had injuries. We lost two of our strikers to injury. Jaden Stockley and Connor Washington. And yeah, the wheels kind of came off, to be honest with you. And unfortunately for Jacko, by the time it got to the end of the season, our owner got rid of him. So yeah, that's where we've come to. But obviously, last time I spoke to you, it was a very different story to where we are now as well.
Indeed, and wow, what's the current mood in terms of Charlton fans? Ben Garner now appointed, formerly of Swindon Town. It's another sort of merry-go-round of managers at Charlton. You've had lots in the last 5-10 years, probably the last 2 years, 3 years. So what is the current mood at the moment?
Yeah, I think, when we got taken over by Thomas Sandgaard, I think it was at like the end of 2020, all of us kind of just wanted a fresh start. We'd had like bad owners and, as you said, like a management merry-go-round for years, especially after being used to Alan Kirbishley. He was there for obviously a decade, so it was, we're not used to chopping and changing managers all the time. But so I think with the new owner coming in, we were just like, okay, we want some stability. And obviously, in an ideal world, we wouldn't have gone through four managers, with Lee Bowyer, Nigel Adkins, Joy Jackson, and now Ben Garner. However, I think, after the disappointment of last season, I think everyone's just kind of willing to see hopefully it will be a positive change. The owner has a philosophy that he wants to instill in the team, which is attacking football. And, he thinks Ben Garner's the man to do that. I don't think he ever really believed in Johnny Jackson. I think that's probably fair to say. I think he kind of not gave in to what fans wanted, but I think because Johnny had won that many games in a row, it was kind of hard to say no. But I think, now he's appointed a guy that he thinks will instill his philosophy. And yeah, that's the kind of vibe in the moment. I think people are kind of split between being like, we're so done with being negative, like after the whole ownership problems we had before and like the chaos of last season, the roller coaster. So I think people are just desperate for some stability and to just give Ben Garner a chance. Whereas some other people I know are a little bit unsure with the transfer business and unsure on Ben Garner. But yeah, I think everyone's just kind of, if it goes great, then brilliant, but we won't get our hopes up.
Indeed, and it segues nicely into transfer. You mentioned it. It's been all about basically taking all the Swindon players. Of course, it always happens to managers. They look back at their former club and go, "Yeah, you're a good player. You're a good player. I want to work with you again." What do you thought of the transfer window as a whole so far? Of course, when we record this, when the season kicks off, there's still going to be a month of the window to go, so there's going to be more signings and all that sort of stuff. But key names you've signed so far. You happy with everybody?
Yeah, so obviously we've been labelled Swindon 2.0, and like I don't think Swindon fans are very fond of us anymore, so sorry to them. But I mean, we brought in I'm trying to think. So we brought in free transfers and loans so far. We got rid of quite a lot of, I would say, deadwood. I mean, we had like Ben Watson, Chris Gunter, some of the kind of like, no disrespect to some of the more like aging players that I think if you want to get promoted out of League One, they're not the type of people that you need in your team. So, and we got rid of our striker Colin Washington, which I was really sad about because I really liked Washington, but he's gone to Rotherham. So there's some of the people we brought in. We brought in Stephen Sessegnon, obviously on loan from Fulham. We sold our our right back Adam Matthews out of contract, so he left, and obviously that space was pretty vacant. So brought him in on loan, which I hope he'll hit the ground running with us. Obviously he was at Plymouth last season, so hopefully he's got a bit of an understanding of the league. We've also brought in McArdles from Lincoln, and he was another free transfer in midfield. So again, someone that knows the league, which is obviously always positive. Then we've recruited obviously people from Swindon, Jack Payne being one of them. So we brought in a lot of midfielders actually. Our midfield is very overcrowded at the moment, I'd say. I think to the point where we're kind of thinking, surely we're going to have to offload one of these guys because there is a lot of them. I mean, there's been talk of Jake Forster-Caskey, our midfielder, who's been with us for ages now, but there's been talk of him being sold because it's just, there's too much competition for spaces. But yeah, apart from that, I think we're probably now, I would say, just really missing another striker. We got James Stockley and Chuck Anike in terms of senior strikers, but Anike has a habit of getting injured. I don't mind because whenever he does come back from injury, he scores about 10 goals. So I don't mind him being made a cast. But yeah, I think we do need another person up top. But all in all, I think, you could look at it and say, was all just been frees and loans? Where's the real investment, to be honest? You go, if you want to, as you guys know, you have to spend big to get out of this league or spend wisely as well. So, you don't necessarily have to spend loads of money, but I think Charlton fans are just we're going to need to fork out probably for a goal scorer because we can't just rely on James Stockley.
No, and yeah, you just want that marquee sign, don't you? That's what you just want, a sexy striker or something like that, just to get you in. You just want it. But yeah, as I said, month left to go. You never know if the player comes at the right price. You may be able to sign that player. We'll show out and see. Well, Tash, overall, what's your thoughts for the coming season? I won't get your prediction in terms of where you're going to finish and all that sort of stuff. We'll leave that to other people to say. But what do you reckon then? Third season back in League One. Is it going to be the third time lucky time, or is it going to be another season?
Well, whenever we got promoted out of League One before, it's taken us 3 attempts. So I'm not saying too much, but so if that happens again, I'll look back on this and be like, but yeah, so the last time we got promoted when we went up, when we played Sunderland at Wembley, that was our third time of asking, and when we went up in 2012, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, it's 3 is a lucky number, I think, for us. But I also think after last season, where I really thought it would be stable under Nigel Adkins, I just don't want to, us to be too kind of sure about what's going to happen because obviously I think McGarnett could go one way or the other. Obviously, as I say, if it goes well, then happy days. But I think as Charlton fans, we know not to get our hopes up. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But I think I predicted us to finish 6th a couple of weeks ago because there's still quite a long transfer window and I'm looking what everyone else is doing. I'd now probably put us just outside the playoffs. I'd like to think we can at least push for it. But yeah, that's probably where I'd put us at this moment in time.
Okay, and we'll wait and see. And well, Ipswich Town, Charlton, always big games in League One. We've always had that history, with us giving you players like Matt Holland and all that sort of stuff. It was used to be Charlton 2.0, or Charlton Town, we used to always praise that as. They're going to be big fixtures as always in League One. And we first have a trip to the Valley in October, the end of October. So that should be an interesting one. And I think a lot of people are happy. It's Saturday. It's a Saturday. It's not a Tuesday night. So I'm sure people will enjoy a weekend in London that day. And then the big fixture, of course, is end of the season once again in April, the 15th at Portman Rose. Last year, it was the final game of the season. It was a dead rubber. No teams fighting for anything. But this season, it could be a very big day. That's going to be part of the run-in. What's your thoughts overall on the 2 fixtures?
Yeah, I think obviously the one in October, it's hard to say, but I think by that point, I think teams have started to gel. They've started to you get an understanding. It's a long old season, but you get an understanding of where you think people will finish. So it's hard to say. But obviously, I feel like you guys, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like you guys probably feel a lot more prepared for this campaign. Or not even prepared, but you just have more faith in McKenna to get you to where you need to be. It feels like, you spent a lot of money last year and now you've got to the point where you kind of know what players will work, and rather than just throw money at it. So it's hard. I feel like your squad is probably a lot more. You spend a lot more money on it than we have, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything in League One, as you know. Like anyone could be anyone. So, but I think but it'd be interesting. Obviously, I was saying to you before this time, like when the fixtures came out last summer, we were like, oh well, Ipswich Charlton, that's going to be massive on the last day, and then it didn't turn out like that. But yeah, I'd like to think it would be a competitive game anyway. Me and you at the top of the table. That'd be great.
That'd be nice. That'd be nice indeed. Well, Tash, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining me. Any other business? Any other notes you want to add?
Thanks, Ross. No, just hopefully both of us are up there at the end of the season, because we both should be in League One. So.
Well said, word. Well said indeed. Well, thank you so much. Hope everyone's enjoyed. I'm sure I'll catch up with you, Tash, later on in the season to see how you guys are doing overall when we face in October. Bring it on. Thanks again.
See you then. No worries.